Okay, so another year, another Apple event, and as usual, you're left wondering at the end of it if you should upgrade to any of the new devices. So I thought I'd put this quick video together. I'm just gonna quickly go over some of the new products that were launched today, and I'm gonna let you guys know what my thoughts are on the matter and whether I'll be upgrading and whether I think you should upgrade or not. And yeah, let's get right into it. Firstly, with the new iPad. Now, the changes this year with the new iPad are, firstly, it's getting the A13 Bionic chip, which again is going to be faster than the previous gen. You know the drill, faster CPU, faster GPU, blah, blah, blah. It's about 20% faster, Apple claims. But other than that, you're getting a improved front-facing camera. So they upgraded it to the 12 megapixel camera. It has the center stage where the camera will zoom in, zoom out to kind of adjust for who's coming into the field of view. This is kind of cool. I like center stage, but that 12 megapixel front-facing camera is going to be handy, and I'll mention why in just a second. It also now has True Tone support, which will adjust the viewing experience based on what your viewing environment is. Reason why that 12 megapixel front-facing camera with center stage is clutch at this moment, because it will, inevitably people are going to use the iPad more and more for studying, for school, for, work and stuff like that. So it's great to have meetings on. It's great to, conduct lessons over Zoom, Skype, or whatnot. So I think that 12 megapixel camera kind of makes this a little more worth it. And the iPad comes in at a price of about $329 USD. But if you had the older iPad, does it make sense to upgrade? Honestly, I would not upgrade. This iPad makes sense for anybody who's just getting into the market now and just wants a new iPad for, their kids or for the family to use. So I think this is a great entry point into the iPad experience. So I would save it for that. But if you have the old ones, I don't really see a point in upgrading here. Next up, the product which I am probably the most excited for is the iPad mini. Now, I've been waiting for this iPad mini refresh for quite some time. I've been using the Galaxy Fold 3 for the past several weeks in order to do a review on it, and I gotta say, this makes me really want to carry around an iPad mini as well if I want to, have that same sort of similar experience, but within the Apple ecosystem. So the iPad mini kind of came at a clutch time. Now, the new iPad mini has an all-screen design, so it's done away with the home button. Now it has that full-screen design with the Touch ID basically located in the power button up top of the iPad mini, kind of like the iPad Air, but now you get this big 8.3-inch Liquid Retina display. Now, I do wish this was the Liquid Retina XDR display that you get in the iPad Pro, 12.9 inch, and now in the new iPhones, but it is not. You also get a couple new colorways. You get a purple color as well as a starlight, which I actually kind of dig. Next up, it also has a USB-C port. Now, this is clutch because if you already have another iPad or if you have a MacBook or anything like that, then you're already using USB-C and you know the power of USB-C. So data transfers are much faster and it can support a lot more things. So now I can plug in my SSD to it, which makes photo editing, video editing, and all of these things much more easier. So having that USB-C is a great decision. I'm glad that Apple put that in here. You also get 5G connectivity, so if you want to get it in cellular mode, you can. It's also got a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with center stage, so it's good for that whole thing that I mentioned where for calls and whatnot, it's going to come in handy. So there's that. And it has Apple Pencil 2 support, so you can use the newer Apple Pencil with it, as well as a smart folio. The iPad mini clocks in at about $499 USD for 64 GB option, which is surprising because I thought they would bump this up to at least a 128 GB base option like they have done with the iPhones now, which I'll get to soon. In the case of the iPad mini, I would say that this is a big enough update for you to warrant switching to the new iPad mini. It has tons of cool features, and now you can use your Apple Pencil to it, and it sticks to the side and everything like that magnetically, so it's kind of cool. Okay, next up, Apple Watch Series 7. Now, I gotta say, this is probably the portion of the segment which I was the most, I don't want to say disappointed, but I mean the most let down with, because I was expecting a lot more changes to the watch, but I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of mentality went in here again. We are looking at pretty much an Apple Watch Series 5 S model because I kind of felt the Series 6, so the model that came out last year, was a very much of an S model upgrade, and now the Series 7, I mean, it still feels like an S model upgrade. So I'm gonna dub this Apple Watch Series 5 SS. It's got a new Retina display with about 20% more screen real estate, so they've kind of shrunk the bezels a little bit and expanded the screen a little bit more, and Apple claims that it gives you this feeling of the screen kind of bleeding off the edge sort of effect. So I'll be waiting to see how that looks when I get mine in person. They did claim that it is the most durable Apple Watch ever, and that's because it has an IPX6 rating now, so it's also dust resistant as well as water resistant now. So Apple also claims that it is crack resistant, so I'm sure somebody's gonna put that to the test. Probably won't be me. It has the same 18-hour full-day battery life, and it's supposed to charge a little bit faster now. It comes in the same finishes, like the same aluminum, stainless steel, titanium, Hermes, Nike, and all of that stuff. No ceramic models this year. Again, for the time being, Series 5 is the only model with ceramic, so I think my value just went up slightly. Now, the Watch Series 7 starts at $399 USD again. Now, as for whether upgrading to the Watch Series 7 makes sense, I'll be honest with you, I really don't think so. I think this is a very small upgrade to the watch, but let me take a look at it once I get it in person. But according to the spec sheet, it just doesn't warrant an upgrade. Okay, now, the last and the big one, iPhone 13. Now, I'm gonna first start with the actual design and how the phone looks, because it looks very pretty much exact to the iPhone 12s. There's not much of a difference. They did mention that the cameras at the back are now diagonal versus being top down. Also, you have a few new colors now. You have pink, blue, starlight, and midnight, which sound like pretty cool colors. I'd love to know what your favorite is. Let me know in the comment section down below which color you are going to pick up and which color you think I should pick up, because I'm very curious and I absolutely suck with making these decisions, so I need your help. Now, some of the welcome additions here are it has a bigger battery, so that's going to give you slightly better battery life. Now, this is for all the iPhones across the board, right? Whether we're talking about the iPhone 13, iPhone 13 Pro, Pro Max, or even the Mini. So I know there's a lot of people that loved the Mini but hated the battery life on it. So if you're one of those people, then you'll be happy to know that the battery life on the Mini is going to get extended a little bit. It also now comes with a Super Retina XDR display similar to the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, which is a welcome addition. I absolutely love that screen. It also now has an A15 Bionic chip, which again is going to mean that it is going to process things a lot faster. It's going to be a much more powerful chip. There's also improvements to the actual camera, like the wide angle lens is slightly better, and it now has OIS, which is the optical image stabilization sensor shift technology, which will make your video a lot more smooth, which makes nighttime photography even better and low light photos even better on the iPhone 13. But by far, I think the headline feature which a lot of people are going to be talking about is the new cinematic mode on the iPhone 13. I'm actually very surprised that something like this exists on a phone that's going to be inside my pocket. So basically what cinematic mode on video is going to do for you is it's going to rack focus. So if you're filming something and the person looks away to the background, then the focus is going to shift from the person to the background. If you move the camera to somewhere else, then the camera is going to rack focus to the other area. And Apple claims that it's smart enough for it to figure out what exactly should be in focus in that moment, and it will shift that focus. But what's even more cool is the fact that all of this information is still captured and in post. So after you've shot your video, you can actually go into that video and you can adjust how much depth of field or how much bokeh or blur you want in that video, what you want that video to focus on. So if I was to take like a video of like an entire scene, I can go in and later on focus on my face, and then I can change the focus on the background, and I can do all of this after I've filmed the video. That is just that's insane. All in all, I gotta say, I'm actually really impressed with what Apple's done with the iPhone 13 camera system this year. iPhone 13, the baseline, they've upgraded it to 128 GB, so no longer do you get that 64 measly GB. The iPhone 13 mini comes in at about $699, and the iPhone 13 comes in at about $799. Now, should you upgrade to the iPhone 13 or the iPhone 13 mini? So if you have a really old iPhone, I always say kind of just, weigh it by choice. Do you really need to upgrade if you want all these new features? Then it's a good upgrade for a phone. Now, if you have the iPhone 12, does it make sense to upgrade? To be quite honest, no. I don't think this is a year where you have to make the upgrade from 12 to 13. The phones are so similar, unless you are somebody who is big into photo and video, in which case maybe the photo and video new features that I just mentioned right now may make sense for you. But then again, you're probably looking at the iPhone 13 Pro, Pro Max lineup, which I'm going to talk about in 2 seconds. But as for this, unless you need those new features that I mentioned, which come with the camera, I really don't see a need to upgrade this year. Okay, the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. Again, all the new changes that came to the iPhone 13 that I just mentioned, so the smaller notch by 20%, the IP68 water resistance, the A15 Bionic chip, the display and everything, it's all the same, except there's a few additional things here, because keep in mind, this is the Pro model. Pro Display XDR on the iPhone 13 Pro models now comes with Pro Motion. A lot of pros in that sentence. The Pro Motion basically moderates the refresh rate from 10 to 120 Hertz. This is something we've all been waiting for a long time. We were kind of expecting this to come in the iPhone 12, but it did not. But I'm so glad that the iPhone 13 Pro has it. For me personally, it does make a huge difference. I absolutely love the 120 Hertz experience on a phone. And when I was using my Galaxy Z Fold 3, this has a 120 Hertz screen. And going from this back to the iPhone 12 Pro, it was a noticeable difference. I was able to actually see how choppy this phone felt. It felt a lot more choppier when I'm navigating or scrolling or anything like that. So I'm really glad that they brought the 120 Hertz. So it'll make me miss my Z Fold 3 a lot less. But yeah, welcome addition. As for the camera system on the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, they've all been improved in some way. Firstly, you have the 3x zoom telephoto lens, which is a 77mm full frame equivalent. The ultra-wide lens is a 13mm focal length equivalent, and Apple's claiming that it has 92% better low light capabilities compared to the last gen, and now you can shoot macro shots with autofocus with that ultra-wide lens, which is so cool. Apple says you can get up to 2 centimeters away, and you can, the photos that Apple has shown here, I'm gonna test this out myself, but this looks pretty darn neat. So you have an extra lens capability built into your iPhone. And also you get ProRes video with the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max, but that will be coming a little bit later. Apple has not announced when exactly, but we're expected to get up to 4K 30 frames per second in ProRes video. Last but not least, battery life. Battery life is expected to improve by 1.5 hours and 2.5 hours respectively on the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. It's going to be a welcome addition, and I'm glad that Apple did it. Prices have not changed again. You're getting the iPhone 13 Pro for $999 and the Pro Max for $1099 USD, and you get them in the following 4 colors, which is the black, the silver, the gold, and this new blue. Let me know in the comment section down below again what color you are excited for. Are you excited about the new blue color for the iPhone 13 Pro Max? In any case, that pretty much sums up all the announcements today. The iPhone 13 Pro Max, is that something that you should upgrade to from the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max? To be quite honest, it's not a big difference. I'll be honest, right off the bat, you don't really need to upgrade here. However, personally, the Pro Motion display with the 120 Hertz, I wouldn't upgrade just for that, but it is definitely a nice to have, and it sweetens the deal quite a bit more, as well as the cameras. I'm somebody who, I use the cameras on my phones quite a bit. So for me, I'm really excited about the cinematic video mode on the new iPhones. I'm really excited about being able to change my focus and try out all those things. So I don't know if those things are going to be gimmicks or not, but I guess I'm only going to find out once I actually bite the dust. In any case, I hope this video was beneficial to you. I didn't do anything special, no skits, no surprises, no nothing. So hopefully this video was helpful. And if it was, then please go ahead and give it a like, share it with your friends and family who may be interested in these new products. And also, if you could sub to the channel, it would help a lot. I can maybe afford to go get a haircut, so I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, stay blessed, peace.